Hey guys, John from Keller Williams, Cape Cod and Colonial Partners. Today we're going to talk about my top places to live on Cape Cod. So frequently, as a real estate agent here on Cape Cod, I am asked what are some of the best areas to live on Cape Cod. Now, this is only my opinion. There are no facts or consumer reports in regards to why I am choosing these areas. This is just my opinion. These are just the places that I have been to on Cape Cod that I find peaceful, relaxing, polite, and nice. Now, I'm also going to keep out some of the areas that are way more expensive than what I can afford. And most of my clients are, in that kind of middle class range. So they are just trying to look for an average home here on Cape Cod. First, my number one that I am going to show you is Forestdale. Now, Forestdale is a village in Sandwich that kind of encompasses south of Route 130 here. We'll even throw in South Sandwich here, I guess you could call it that. And it's a very peaceful, quaint area. Sandwich has a lot of things to do. There's a lot of amenities. They do have a high tax rate that keeps most of the big businesses out. You won't have a Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. However, they have accommodated a few of the local ones. You can always go to your donkeys there. Number 4 on my list. I think I said number 1, but we're going to count down from 5. Number 4 on my list is now I'm probably going to get a lot of guff from this because I'm going to encompass Truro and Wellfleet into one kind of mass. As you can tell, once you get up to this area, Cape Cod, there's very thin land up here. But Truro and Wellfleet are some of the most beautiful places on Cape Cod. It's the gateway to P-Town, but there's a lot to do. There's plenty of great beaches. You have Marconi Beach in Wellfleet, wonderful lighthouses and other things. A lot of, as you could tell, hiking trails and other conservation areas that are great to go to. Number 3, one of my personal favorites, is Orleans. Now, I'm encompassing Orleans, East Orleans. This is actually one of my favorite places because it has one of, in my opinion, the best burger joints on Cape Cod. That is the Knack. You can actually, get out to the National Seashore out in this area. That's kind of the gateway to that. A lot of quaint little villages in Orleans. It's nice, it's calm, it's just collected. And again, this is no opinion other than my own. Number 2 on the list is 2 feet away, and I'm going to actually say Brewster. In Brewster, I actually just sold a house up in Brewster, and I've never spent much time there until recently. And I realized how beautiful it actually was. You got Nickerson State Park. A lot of areas in this lake region here, Pleasant Lake, Long Lake, Sheep Pond. It's actually a very nice area. The place where I just sold was kind of in this area right here. You have Captain's Golf Course if you're a golfer. There's just a lot to do up there, and again, it's kind of out of the hustle and bustle of the main touristy part of Cape Cod. Now, my number 1, I have to go with, obviously, because I live here, Centerville. I love Centerville. I moved here, I used to live in Sandwich, and I moved to Centerville probably, 10, 12 years ago. I love Centerville. It's an awesome place. As one could imagine, Centerville, it's kind of the center of everything. It's the center of Barnstable. You're 5 minutes from the highway. You're 5 minutes from the amenities that are in Hyannis. You're 5 minutes from the beaches. You're 5 minutes from the northern beaches. You have the Lake Wequaquet, which is a wonderful lake, the biggest surface area lake on Cape Cod. It's just a wonderful place. The school systems are awesome. My kids go to Centerville Public Schools. They are awesome. Barnstable Public Schools. In my opinion, you can't get much better than Centerville. Beautiful little village in the south of 28 area, down in this area. It's just a great place to live. Now, since that was my number one, I'm going to throw in a few more here. I grew up in Sandwich. I grew up right in this area. That's also a wonderful place to live. Quiet, quaint. It's close to the bridge, so if you're a commuter, that's kind of the place you want to be. Bourne over here is actually pretty good, but it can get a little jammed up here in the bridge. You can't see that. Over here, this area, MacArthur's Boulevard, can get a little jammed up when there's traffic, but this is also kind of its own little land over here. You have to kind of drive down Sandwich Road and or up 28 here to get to this little area. Kind of its own quaint little village. If you're there, you kind of go venture off maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, and then you go and you stay in that area, unless you work outside the area. Lots to do in Sandwich. Lots to do. Now, I told you I did exclude kind of the more wealthier areas, which you have Osterville here. That's a very, very wealthy area when you get down, especially into Waiano and Waiano Beach and all that. Hyannis Port can be a pretty decent area. On the northern side, all this area on the northern side is actually, beautiful. Same thing, a little bit more pricey than what the average person can afford. But it's absolutely beautiful. Honorable mention here is going to be Dennis. So Dennis is one of those areas, especially in my opinion, if you're an investor, which, let's be honest, a lot of investors are buying right now. Dennis is a great place to invest in. There's a lot of amenities. It's filled to the brim with beaches. You have Dennis Pines Golf Course, lots of campgrounds, just a ton to do, regardless of whether you're in the southern part here or you're up north here. Dennis just has an absolute ton to do. Dennis Port, down this way, nice area as well, kind of on the 28 side. You have all those 28 amenities. That's kind of Touristville down here, where there's a lot of like mini golf courses and places to go on 28. Those are my top places on Cape Cod. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of guff for this. I left out Harwich, I left out this, I left out Mashpee. This is just through my experience. Absolutely nothing wrong with any of these places. Falmouth is a great place. I live in Centerville. I would rather drive to Boston than to drive to Falmouth. It's just really tough to get to. Chatham, I left out Chatham because Chatham can be a little pricey. It's a beautiful place, one of the lowest tax rates on Cape Cod, but some of the highest price houses on Cape Cod. P-Town's absolutely wonderful. It's more or less like a tourist destination, and it is extremely expensive if you want to buy there. So, and P-Town is a heck of a drive too. So if you can imagine, even me in Centerville here, usually takes me 45 minutes to an hour to even get out to P-Town here. So it's quite a drive, but everyone has to go to P-Town at least once every couple of years. It's just great. If you have any questions or you want to buy or list a house here on Cape Cod, give me a call. John DeLaus, Keller Williams, Cape Cod, and Colonial Partners.